Hey everybody, um, finally got myself a tablet, so figured I'd do something nice for a couple guild members, my girlfriend, and a few other, people who are, wondering, just how to progress in the game. With this particular video, we won't be starting right from the very beginning. This is more or less going to be a test run, so to speak. And what we're going to be doing in this test run, we're going to take my typical Gb10 team, and we're going to put it through its courses. And I'll try to explain the best I can how it's working and why it's working the way it is. Now, this team, as you'll probably notice, is a little unorthodox. Yeah, sure, there's Vero and Bella, which are highly recommended. However, we have a couple other monsters here, like Emma. Yes, she's good for giants, but she's better for dragons. And yes, of course, we do have this wonderful Chazun here, but Chazun, when you're using her, you want the nukes that you're using to have a decent amount of HP, and you also want to attack break the giants so that the revenge doesn't kill your nukers. Yeah, I could run a team like that. However, any nukes that I do have for it that would be good, like Lucian here or Amir, they'll die pretty fast. So Emma's there for survivability, whereas say for example Wuxi here. There was even a guild member of mine saying, maybe he's not as optimal for giants as he is in other areas. But at the same time, if you've got a proper team, he can be very optimal in Giants 10. And then I know a lot of you more experienced players are looking at Shihao and wondering, well, why is he there? Well, for several reasons. He can get through the stages up to the boss fairly easily with his 3 different attacks. His first one giving everything a chance to be stunned. The second is an AoE attack bar decrease, which has the same amount of cooldown as what our beloved Spectra has, which I think is, pretty neat. And unlike Spectra, She-House does damage. Yes, Spectra slows, but at the same time, She-House getting in the damage where Spectra wouldn't be getting in with his AoE attack bar decrease. His third is a very, very good and very handy thing, especially when dealing with giants, and that would be his self-sustain, which is on his S3. It hits multiple times, and after it hits, it grants him invincibility for 1 turn and immunity for 2, meaning he won't be defense broke after 2 turns, and he also won't be damaged by the giants the next time that the giants uses its normal attack, or maybe even its revenge. Reason why I say even on the revenge, which probably isn't making much sense if I said Shihao just went, is because mine is on violent and revenge. And I know a lot of you out there who use Shihao or even know about him are saying, oh, but he can proc out of his shield. Well, the beautiful thing about that is, just as much chance as he has to proc out of it, he has just as good of a chance to proc into it. So, say for example, he came by short by just 1 turn. one more turn, and he could have saved himself with his S3. Well, with the Violent, that allows him the chance to go again to gain that self-sustain. And it works great for dealing more damage because you're getting in more turns. It works, better for, coinciding with your healers, because if he's low on HP, then he can bring up that shield, and your healers can just bring him right back up. And, yes, he's not as tanky as his brothers, which, by the way, he's not really meant to be. She has meant purely as a nuke, and mine is ran attack, crit damage, attack. And, he can deal pretty decent damage whenever Bella here lands his, defense break. Shihao really is a good monster, and he's viable in many different areas of the game. PvP, anywhere in PvP, player versus player, anything. He's really, really decent at. And most of the times that I do, even World Arena, once I select him into my team, when the banning portion comes around, it's always either him, Vero, or Beretta that ends up being banned. But for the most part, it's Shihao getting banned. So if he's not banned, needless to say, he's going to do a lot of damage to certain teams. You can use him in TOA because of his attack bar decrease and his stuns. And then whenever the boss stage comes around, he does have that self-sustain, and not a lot of the TOA bosses have strips. So that's highly beneficial there. And his AoE attack bar decrease also helps with this as well, because in TOA, of course, you want to keep your enemy from having as many turns as possible. You just want to keep their attack bars as low as can be. And Shihao being on Violent, right there, he died there. But he did a fair amount of damage before he died, which is good because now the Giant has a better chance of going down, and he kept that attack bar down for a good little while there. So between him and Wuxi, the Giant hasn't gotten to go that many times so far, which is exactly what you want. You want this to keep this Giant from having a chance to do too much. Of course, by the time you take out the Giant, he's going to definitely take 7 hits, meaning somebody's going to take a revenge. Now, also keep in mind that these monsters are definitely not on the best of runes, and most of the runes are not plus 15 yet. Definitely not plus 15. And I'd have to say that the 2 best runed there are probably Shihao and Vero. So yeah, there's one very possible Gb10 team, which I know that my girlfriend's been working very hard on getting hers up and running, and I'm hoping that this tutorial can help her with that as well. Now with Giants, there's many different possibilities. Emma, you can go with Shihao. Here, let me change this list here so that... Okay, you could go with Shihao.